All right, everyone, welcome to Ghostly. We're not going to do the big long intro that we usually do because we have a very special guest and we can't wait to get into it. We have Mike Morrissey with us from Last Three Rows of Horror. And
Yeah,
also, we've known each other for what, 30 years now?
I mean it's been a while. I'd say since the late '90s through your old metal band. Yeah,
My old metal band. That's
yeah,
funny. Yeah. It wasn't all metal, but yeah, we were on
Wow.
dry roasted
Things
peanuts. So
that's
things we
right.
learn about Pat. Things we
things,
learn
yeah,
about Pat.
absolutely. So, what's been going on with you, Mike?
Been busy, man. Work, work, work. But
Yeah.
every now and then you gotta enjoy yourself. And I owed myself a fun road trip. So last year I went on a paranormal road trip, and I decided to film all the locations and make a documentary. And I guess, yeah, that's what we'll talk about today. And I am very happy to say I am on your show for the third time now.
This is the third time. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been
absolutely.
a little while, so
Absolutely.
it's good to have you back for sure.
Yeah. And you went with us to Bachelor's Grove for our first ghostly time at Bachelor's Grove.
I remember
Um,
that. I remember that. That was cool. Yeah,
yeah.
I've been back there a few times, and it's always fun going there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places. I always want to go, but I have to keep myself from going as much because I know that's one of the things. You either want to go a lot or you never want to go back. So, and I
It's always fun to go back. I mean,
but there are people that are like, nope, never. I'm never going to go back to that spot again. And I am not that person. I am the exact opposite. I'm like, oh, I have a couple days off. I should go to Bachelor's Grove one day.
yeah, it's
All the
great to
time.
go. It's great to go like spring, summer when the weather's nice
Yeah.
because you're out there kind of in the open. The wind hits you, and it's a fun experience.
I would
Yeah.
say like a warm day in the spring or fall is the perfect because it when you're to go in if you go in the wooded area, it's difficult if there's leaves on the trees. It's
Well,
easier when leaves are
from
gone.
from what I've been hearing, when you go past the cemetery into like the deep part, you cross that little creek and you find like
Hmm.
the old foundations of the home. That's so overgrown right now that it's like
Yeah.
impossible to reach. That's the word I've heard.
I could
Um,
see that. It's been a couple years, but the last time I was there, yeah, it was difficult. And that's without the leaves. So it wouldn't
mhm.
surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's talk about your trip. So we will talk about Last Three Rows of Horror a little bit though, because
Okay.
before we talk about your trip, because I think there's some connections there. So on Last Three Rows of Horror, you guys talk about horror movies, which
Yeah.
is my favorite genre. And so, when you decided to go on a road trip and visit these places, and one of the things that I love about the documentary is that you talk about, for some of these places, the horror movies that were inspired
Yeah.
by the place or by the story at the place. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that, like how you made connections
Oh,
between
sure.
the horror movie and the places that you saw.
Oh, yeah. So, like the very first location, well, I'll explain it to you this way. The first location I went to, I went in June of last year, and that was to the Ed Gein property in Plainfield, Wisconsin.
Hmm.
All the other 14 locations I did in one weekend in July.
Okay.
Over the span of like 4 days, my goal was Nashville, Tennessee. So
Okay.
and on the first day, from Chicago to Nashville should be like 7 hours. It probably took me like 10 or 11 because I kept going out of my way to see all these places. So made it to Nashville, did 2 nights there, then made it to Louisville, Kentucky, did one night there, and then on the way home, I hit like five other spots throughout Indiana. So I kind of did like a big circle. But that very first location I did in June, my wife and I, we did a road trip to Minneapolis. And on the way there, I said, oh, we got to stop in Plainfield, Wisconsin, because I've always wanted to go check it out. But I knew that this Netflix series was coming out in the fall of last year. So I was like, I got to get this filmed before, like the whole world sees the series and they want to come up here. It could be crowded and, with people. But that location, let me tell you, it's so rural out there. Like it's no wonder he went nuts because there's absolutely nothing to do in like rural Wisconsin. I mean, it's just farms with
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hardly any population, like a super small town with nothing to do. So But that's not the only
A
reason.
mother that really loved him.
Oh my God, the stories I've been hearing about her, like I've been doing more research about Augusta, and wow, I mean, just the whole religious thing about her and how she treated men in general and how she treated Ed. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a crazy story for sure.
But there are movies based off Ed Gein and documentaries. There's a whole bunch of movies based on his crimes and stuff like that. Most famously, Psycho from 1960, Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 74, and Silence of the Lambs from 1990. But my two favorites, I think it's 1974 or 78. It's called Deranged, and that's with the actor
Mm.
Roberts Blossom. You would probably recognize him as the crazy old man that lives next to Kevin McAllister in Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he played Ed Gein.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
and then from the year 2000, Steve Railsback played him, and the movie's just called Ed Gein, or it's just called Gein. And that one was pretty accurate. And if you've seen the Netflix series with Charlie Hunnam, if you know anything about the case, there's a ton of inaccuracies on the Netflix series. I
Sure.
That's what I've heard.
I
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was some scenes were really brutal, but there's a whole lot of lies and nonsense in the series. But it was still good.
Yeah. Have you guys covered that on the podcast?
Ed Gein?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we have. We've talked about.
I'm sure Psycho and I'm sure Texas
Yes,
Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
definitely we have. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, those are two of the most famous horror movies ever. So, yeah, you kind of have to, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into this. So, I was going to ask how long it took, but you said about a weekend. So, that is a crazy short amount of time to get to all those destinations.
Yeah.
How long did you spend at each one of them?
Not that long. The
Yeah.
longest was probably the Bell Witch Cave, and that's in Adams, Tennessee, which is
Yeah.
about 45 minutes north of Nashville.
Sure.
Okay.
But I used my co-host Sam. I used his 4K camera,
Okay.
and I filmed a little bit with each location. Since I had so much to film, I kind of wanted to like be in and out and do it as fast as possible, but get enough where like just to show what these places look like now.
Yeah.
And I knew like I was going to do the narration afterwards, so good old Wikipedia was my source for a lot of information. Plus, I seen a lot of these locations over the years on the Travel Channel on all those ghost
Yeah.
shows.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Bell Witch, there's definitely some good stuff with that. And we did an episode on the Bell Witch
I
Yeah.
remember.
a few years ago. Yeah. But
But
that one, that like, so did anything happen to you while you were there, or just it was so cool and fun to see?
Nothing happened to me except like just being exhausted. So I was there in July. It was about 90 degrees out, and it's hot as hell. We get to the cave and it's like a cool 60 degrees inside.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I heard you
mm,
say like you're like, I don't normally like to go in caves, but it was at least cooler inside.
It
yeah.
was. Yeah, I am not, I don't go spelunking. I am not a cave guy. I don't climb. I don't
The Descent
crawl.
is one of the scariest movies
Oh
I've
my
ever
God.
seen.
That's what gives me nightmares, like getting stuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, even before the second half of the movie, it
Mm.
was even if it had just been the first half of the movie
Yeah.
where
Sure.
they're like stuck in the little places. But yeah, that's always my
So
story with that one is like I screamed and then I felt so I still had too much energy. So I had to scream. I forced myself to scream a second time at the Descent
right.
because I
Yeah.
couldn't handle it.
Well,
Descent was
I,
great.
yeah, absolutely. I do have to ask you a question though, because this was brought up before. Did you take any trinkets or anything from the
Ooh.
cave?
No way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they warn you on the tour, don't take anything out of the cave like rocks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
and I'm skeptical, but I'm also spiritual and I'm cautious. So I wasn't going to take a
Mhm.
chance. The last thing I need that my family needs is like spiritual attachment coming home with me.
Right.
I mean,
I mean,
I've heard stories, and it's probably I'm going to tell you when we're off the air this guy's name. I'm sure you know who he is, but this guy told me that he took rocks out of the cave, and his entire life like fell apart.
Wow.
afterwards. Like
Sure.
the police were taking guns out of his house because they thought he was going to kill people. Like they ripped a safe out of his
Wow.
house,
Whoa.
all because he took rocks out of the cave. So
Wow.
he returned them or he mailed them back, and then his life got better.
Yeah, we
Wow.
we had talked to Troy Taylor of American Hauntings. We talked to him about it, and he was telling us about all the things that people mail back
Yeah.
in the mail, and like one of them was like some kind of piano or something like that. I
That
want to
was
say,
that wasn't for the Bell Witch though. That
but
was
it was something
for,
though.
it's like I should remember the episode because it wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago, but it was out west, a ghost town. There's a
Okay.
ghost
Yeah.
town where
Yeah.
people do that, but
Yeah.
piano was one of the things. That
But
was
could you
crazy.
imagine mailing a piano back? It's like, just
Here's a
how many
grand.
stamps
Yeah.
do you
Here's a
need for
grand
that?
piano.
Yeah,
Yeah, as you're
exactly.
doing these tours, the lesson is, as you're doing these tours, don't take stuff from the
Oh yeah.
places. Yeah.
Well,
So I have to be constantly reminded of that because don't really believe. So I would take all kinds of things. So
that location, you don't want to take that chance. I
yeah.
mean, when you first walk in the cave, they tell you, oh, there's like two rooms. In the first room, they're like, okay, over there in that corner, there's a Native American girl buried there, and
Ooh.
she's been there for years, probably even before the Bell Witch story. So,
Sure.
I mean, you know me, I'm skeptical, but I'm a believer when I see things in person right there in front of my face,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to take a chance of removing anything. And it's funny, like, going into that cave, I came prepared. I had all this stuff with me. I had my bumper cap, I had gloves, I had knee pads, I had tall rubber boots in case it was muddy, and I left everything in the
You were the
car.
most prepared person
Oh
there, but you
no.
didn't bring it. Oh man.
I left it all in the car because you go down a really steep hill to get to
Yeah.
the opening, and then I
Oh,
got down there. I'm like, I'm not going back up to get everything. So,
Oh.
yeah.
yeah.
But good to think about. Now, would you say, okay, is the Bell Witch, was that the scariest place you visited? Or what of all the places you visit in the documentary would you say was the scariest?
Probably Ashmore Estates. And on
Okay.
this, I've been there three times, and the third time is what I captured on camera on the road trip.
Okay.
However, I went there a few years ago, and that was my second time there, where I actually went inside and did a tour and investigation. That freaked me out because this the tour guide, he had one of these like spirit apps on his phone,
Hmm.
and he's asking questions, and the spirit's talking back to him through the radio frequencies. Well, it kept saying my name like about five times, and it was like hissing at me like, Mike. And that freaked me out. And we got up and left because we were there for like 6 hours. And I was like, okay, this is legit. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, understand.
I would
Understand.
believe it more if it said Morrissey. I would be
True.
like, okay, there's something there. But that's going to be our next episode, actually. We're going to be doing Ashmore Estates. We have never done an episode on it.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
yeah. So we're really excited to take a deep dive into that. Is there
So you
any?
may, so I know there's a little bit more to the story than
Yeah.
what you just mentioned here. So people should definitely go watch the documentary for it. And I may mention it in our upcoming episode too, because it's
Oh,
pretty
great.
creepy, all the things that happen.
Yeah.
That one is totally doable for you guys. It's in Illinois, and it's only maybe 3 hours away.
And it looks like
Sure.
close to 4 for us, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a hard time of year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
And also too,
traveling.
when we go there, we would just be in the car probably because it's cold. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Don't do it now. Wait till it gets
yeah,
warmer.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
we'll have to go.
We'll have
Yeah,
to revisit it then, like a
yeah.
revisit episode. But as the skeptic, I want to know what area were you the most skeptical about when you got there? Like, were you like, hey, this spot doesn't seem like anything?
Well, not only did I do like haunted stuff with ghosts, but on the road trip, also combined cryptids
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
and some UFO spots.
Sure,
Yes.
yeah,
So naturally, I'm skeptical over creatures and cryptids.
sure.
When I went, but it's still fun to like listen to all the stories. When I was just outside of Louisville, Kentucky, I went to the town of what's it called? Well, it's Goatman's Bridge,
Yeah.
Okay.
and they call it the Trestle Bridge. And there's a certain name of the town. It begins with the letter P. Sorry, I'm spacing on it right now.
Oh, it's all good.
But the story of the goat man is there, it's a half man, half goat with like a battle axe, and he hypnotizes you to climb up on the tracks and like walk into a train.
Oh, of course.
So
That
it's
seems
like
logical.
yeah, it's a fun like
Mhm.
urban legend, and it's been there, that story's been around forever. They even do a Goatman festival there every year.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're a little skeptical about the goat man,
Goatman.
that there is a
Yes.
goat man. Okay, that makes
Correct.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
Hope Lick Trestle
Hopefully.
Bridge
Yep.
near
Hopefully Kentucky.
Louisville. There it is. I love it.
Okay, so Rebecca would probably ask at this point, which is the most believable one that you were at?
Again, you got whatever your take is on ghosts and haunted houses, that would probably get your best answer out of that.
But just what you with your beliefs and your values, which do you
Yeah.
feel is the most believable
Then
idea
it could be a
concept?
UFO. I don't, of any of the
Yeah.
sites that you went to.
I'm gonna say the 200 Demon House in Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana, nice.
Yep.
We did
Yeah.
We
we
did.
we did an episode on that. We
Yeah.
did a couple. We talked about it at C2E2 and Fan Expo, and yeah, pretty interesting location.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
really interesting, and I think really believable too. Like if you follow the case and you
Hmm.
do the research, the whole story is it's bizarre, but it's really scary and creepy too. I'm sure everybody
Yeah.
knows about the Netflix movie that came out last year starring Glenn Close. I forget the
Oh
name.
yeah.
I forget
We
the
Yeah.
saw
name of
that. We
it.
watched it. I can't
Yeah.
remember either, but I forgot. Yeah, we did watch that when we were
Yeah.
So
prepping for the episode. Yeah.
that's loosely based on the case,
Hmm.
and when I
Sure.
and when I say loosely, I mean loosely.
Yeah.
Zach Baggins put out
Yeah.
the
My favorite
documentary.
guy. My favorite
Yeah,
guy in the world. Yeah.
he put out the documentary Demon House,
and
which is fun, but I can't believe that guy.
and he went blind too doing it, right? Or
Supposedly,
temporarily blind. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And he still has problems. That's why he wears glasses.
yeah.
So,
But what I do mention about the case in the documentary, years ago, I went to the Chicago Horror Film Fest at the Portage Theater,
oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
and there was a fireside chat between the author Ursula Bielski.
Yeah.
She moderated this fireside chat with the exorcist, Father Maginot, who did the exorcism on the
Yeah.
family that was living in that house.
Okay.
And it's about an hour long chat. And I actually recorded the audio on my phone. I still have it.
What?
And I think I sent that to you years ago, Pat.
Oh,
But
I
that's,
need that.
yeah, sure, I'll get it to you. But the way he tells the story, it'll send chills down your spine.
Yeah.
Wow.
We also had Bob on one of our panels, and he was talking about that because he had him on the show. Unfortunately, we could not get him on the show because he will not travel anywhere and he does not do technology. So
Okay.
Hmm.
he,
I think Bob was probably one of his last interviews like
yeah,
that.
probably.
But I'm guessing the Ursula one when he was a bit younger was probably really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she
Yeah.
was the queen of paranormal in Chicago. So,
I mean,
definitely.
this was like 2017 when I went to that to hear
Okay.
him to hear that. So it wasn't that long ago.
Not that long
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was curious. I mean, obviously, some of this is self-selected because this is where you chose to go. But I was kind of interested, it seemed like when you got to Kentucky that there was a lot of stories about the cryptids and aliens. And I wondered if you had an idea of why that might be. Like, do you think Kentucky has more of those kinds of things than other
Yeah.
areas?
Kentucky's just wild to begin with. Yeah, there is a ton of stories, especially about Dogman.
Dogman.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're familiar with the
Oh,
story
we're very familiar
of
now.
Dogman, down at the Land Between the Lakes, the LBL, to this day there are encounters and people and witnesses, like they've come in contact with it and have been attacked by it. I mean, these stories go way back, but every now and then you still hear new ones, and there's a ton of documentaries, lots of YouTube videos all about it. And I wish I spent more time down there, because the whole area down there, it's like it's beautiful. It's God's
Yeah.
it's God's country down there. Like
Huh.
if you're an outdoors person, you would
Yeah.
love the Land
Oh,
Between the
absolutely.
Lakes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I think Jack Chavez is working on a book currently for Dogman too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we saw him a couple of times talk about Dogman. We were at a paranormal convention in Indiana, like Dyer, Indiana, or right outside Dyer or something like that. And that was his big talk about it. Jack knows everything though, so he didn't prepare with notes. He just went and just did it. Like he
Well,
always amazes me
what a pro.
because he's been on the show before and we will just all of a sudden switch topics. We'll be talking about ghosts and all of us, I'll just be like, so what cryptids are around that area? And he'll list off like 10.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't know how he's able to do that, but yeah, the man that knows everything.
Shout out to his YouTube channel, Channeling Chavez. I was
Yeah,
Yes,
channeling
always
Chavez.
good.
Yeah,
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 I was a guest on there recently.
Very
yeah,
nice. So people
yeah.
should check that out. Really quick too, I was curious, you didn't mention any, so it's okay if the answer is or is not, but any good movies associated with Project Blue Book? You mentioned that as like an
Ooh.
alien spot, and or just any good alien movies or,
Mm,
documentaries or anything that you'd recommend for.
I'd have to really give that some thought. I don't know if any movies have been made about the Thomas Mantell incident, which is a spot that I stopped at. That's in Franklin, Kentucky, and that's just over the border of Tennessee into Kentucky.
Okay.
Small town called Franklin. In the 40s, a World War II fighter pilot got in a dogfight in the air with the UFO, and it caused him to crash and die. That's the
Wow.
story. But
Yeah.
it was investigated by the government, and if you're familiar with Project Blue Book, that's one of the big stories inside Project Blue Book.
Okay, got it.
So there may be some movies based on it. I'd have to do some research on that, Rebecca. That's a good question.
Mm. Yeah, because there are some really good creepy alien movies out there, horror movies out there that are
Oh,
good. Of
definitely.
course, my brain is, we'll think about it. I'll
Yes,
remember.
yes.
Yeah. So when we were driving down to New Orleans too, we happened upon these giant crosses on in the highway. Like right off the highway, you would see these gigantic crosses that are like 3 or 4 stories tall. Did you happen to see any of those on your voyage?
Giant crosses? No. I'm trying to think, did I see anything like crazy? No, but I will tell you this to kind of creep myself out and really enjoy the trip because I left my home at like midnight
Mm.
to make it all the way down to Nashville. And when I was at the Roth home in Watsika,
Oh yeah.
on the way down there, it's dark out, and I had some good like black metal playing in the car to kind of like
to get
to like
to
scare
get in
me.
the
Yeah,
mood. Yeah.
definitely to
Yeah.
get in the mood. But
Except it's the opposite kind of feel for the Roth House.
yeah,
It
It's more
depends where you're
spiritual
at.
than anything else. But
right.
yeah. Roth
Depends.
House. So there was a story about the Roth House that we were there with Neil from Paranormal Guys and various other things, Neil Gibbons. And he invited us there and he wanted me to go on one of these ghost tours. And I went in there and my group was like 4 or 5 people. And we were in one room and they kept us in that room for a while. They closed the door and we were all sitting around. This was a small room, had a leather couch in it. And one of the ladies that was with us, she put her phone down on the couch and she would say that it flew off. And Neil says that too, even though he wasn't in the room, but he believes that strongly. I did not see that, but he came a running to tell Rebecca that I saw this, that I saw this event happen when it was like, oh, you dropped your phone kind of thing. So
I'm going to tell you right now, when Pat first came out of the house, he was much more like, yeah, I don't know what that was. That was really weird, whatever. And then slowly but
that's not
surely, he
true. That's
became more skeptical about that story. So, have
Ah,
you
okay.
ever had a chance to go into the Rough House?
No, but it is on my list. It's very doable.
yeah.
I've had I got to get in touch with the people that own it and do the tours. That's definitely on my to-do
Yeah,
list.
you and
Yeah,
your wife should go for a stay. It's a bed and breakfast. You guys can stay there
yeah.
overnight if
She
you
ain't
want.
going. She ain't going. But
But I mean, but the owner will even make you a charcuterie board and everything.
Yes,
oh
he's a
wow,
chef.
He's
Yes.
famous for his charcuterie boards.
Yes.
So
that's
I will
fantastic.
say the
yeah,
basement is super creepy. Like the story, people can go check out our episode on the Rough House, for the story, but the story itself can be very sweet, but I believe there's some creepiness there too. So,
just
I should clarify. I'm not into paranormal investigations. I don't go out of my way to do that. I like tours.
yeah,
yeah, same,
That's
same.
my thing.
Yeah, we're
sure,
similar. We like I don't mind a little bit of that if it's part of the tour. But yeah, Jack describes paranormal investigating as being a wildlife photographer, where it's just a lot of sitting and waiting for like that
Oh yeah,
one thing to happen. And I have
yeah,
zero patience for that. So I
that's the
appreciate the
thing.
people. I
You have to
appreciate
be
the people that do
right.
the patience.
You have to be very quiet and very patient, and that's not easy for people.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not easy for me because I'd have to stay up late and I'm old. So,
Yeah.
Also that.
I'm like, oh, we're gonna stay here till 3 in the morning. I'm good at about like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Then
yeah,
it's not time.
I don't think anything's gonna happen after this. So I'm gonna
Right.
cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but I will say it's a fun documentary to watch. It's short, but I think you make a good point of it's just a nice. It's good to hear. It only took you 4 days. That was kind of what I was wondering because I was like, yeah, these all seem somewhat close to each other, and it's just kind of fun. What a fun weekend! A little bit of a longer weekend you could do and go
Yeah.
see all these spots. Like,
Yeah.
I I'm gonna do more. I don't know
that was
when.
going to be my next
I
question.
was gonna ask that too. I was gonna ask what's next for Mike. What
Yeah.
Well, you know what I've been wanting to do, and I got to plan it out. I want to go to the town of Alton.
oh yeah,
Oh
we were there,
yeah.
yeah.
We went for the first time last
Mhm.
year. Yeah.
Time it with the Haunted America conference. It is a really good conference to
And
go
end of
to.
June.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
because you mentioned Troy Taylor. I would like to see his
Mhm.
oddities museum.
oh
Yeah, we
yeah,
need to go back where we stay a little bit longer and
he just
go
moved.
see
He
that.
just moved his oddity museum too. So
Yeah.
make sure you get the right address for that.
Mm.
Actually, he had a bunch of listeners and supporters helping him move all the oddities to the new location, which is really trippy, Like here's
That's
this haunted doll that's showcased in the museum. Can you help us move that down the block over here? I would be all for it, but
sure.
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah,
a
but what
super nice guy too.
yeah,
Yeah.
what have you heard about Alton that is
The
appealing to you?
Mineral Springs Hotel
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
McPike Mansion.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did an episode on that one. That's creepy. And
And
we
we
drove
drove
by it.
past it. Yeah.
We
And
did.
also
Yeah, it's
too,
cool.
there's the Confederate Cemetery, which is definitely
Yes.
worth visiting. It's no longer there, but there is a like monument, or you can tell where it was when you drive over there
I mean,
too.
it's just land now. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. I mean, and did they move all the bodies? I don't know.
But it's like fenced off and
It's like a
stuff too.
park.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you can
Mhm.
totally tell where it was, but definitely worth looking into. We did an episode on that. In fact, that's my donor was on that one, so
Oh
it's
wow.
always a special episode for me then.
Mhm.
Sure. Plus,
Um,
Alton isn't terribly far from St. Louis, and there's a
yeah.
Mm,
lot of cool haunted stuff in St. Louis.
good
Yeah, I mean,
point. Good point.
I'm wondering when we're going to go to Waverly Hills. You had brought that up before and
Yeah,
I want to go with you at some point.
dude, that place is 100% legit. I mean, I know I brought it up in the past on your show, but that is where I saw ghosts,
Yeah.
and been there 3 times now, and each time I see the same thing. It's shadow people.
Wow.
Well, I invited shadow people to follow me, so there would
I don't
be a
know.
lot more if I was there then. So,
I don't know he brings them in, Mike. I don't know. I don't know.
Don't do
But
that.
don't do that. I know. But yeah, we'll definitely have a link to the documentary and to your YouTube channel. It sounds like you recently recorded in a new episode of
Yeah.
Last Three Rows of Horror.
Yeah. So our episodes are really spread out. It's when we have availability, and because we all work like crazy. So when we first started in 2021, we did a whole bunch of episodes, but as the years go by, when we're super busy and swamped with work, we just don't have the time. So there's been less and less episodes each year. However, we started this year off with a really good one. It's coming out soon, and it's like a 4-hour episode because we every now and then we do these catching up episodes of
Ah,
what we've been watching lately.
mm-hmm.
Sure.
And this is stuff that's been like streaming or in the theaters. So a lot of the new stuff within the last, say, 5 months, we cover on this new one.
Great. Can you give us
Nice.
one recommendation of something that people should watch from the last 5 months something you've seen that you thought was really good?
Primate.
Oh, yeah, that just came out.
It's
Wow.
crazy. I mean, I don't want to spoil it that much, but it's a killer monkey movie.
There you go.
Nice.
If that's your
Who doesn't
jam,
like a
that's your
killer monkey
jam. I
movie?
love it.
All
Yeah.
right. So also too, what is one movie that you're looking forward to coming out?
Oh,
Like
great
like which
question.
one do you have
Yeah.
on your calendar planned out for the day that it opens that you're going to go or you're going to watch it on whatever streaming service?
I don't.
You
I
don't. What?
No, I don't like look at dates that much. If I see a trailer, say like on Facebook or something,
Yeah.
and it looks, good to me, then I'll see, okay, what is the date? But I don't like mark anything off or take off work to go see it. It's just when I'm available
Sure,
and I have the
sure.
time, and I'll look at AMC and be like, okay, what's playing today? Oh, here's a horror movie. Okay, I'll go check it out. That's kind of how I roll.
And you work all kinds of crazy hours and days too. So,
I do. I sure do.
yeah. Okay, so this is off topic, but on WWE, I want a prediction from you. Who's going to win the Royal Rumble for the men?
Oh man, I hope it's gonna be Braun Breaker. He's my favorite guy right now.
Yeah, he's the future, right?
That's Rick Steiner's kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could see it too if you hold their pictures up to each other. Rebecca's recently gotten into wrestling. Uh,
Oh,
who would
cool.
who would you say would be the woman Royal Rumble winner?
I've always been a fan of Charlotte Flair, and
Really?
I really
Okay.
hope like she's, stays uninjured because she is injury prone a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
But
Mm,
since she started, I've always enjoyed watching her. Like I enjoy watching the women wrestle more than the men do, only
yeah,
because like I think they're more athletic, they
definitely.
have more capabilities, and they're more entertaining in the ring.
yeah.
That's my
I'm gonna
opinion.
be honest, a lot of times for women's sports, that can be the case. Like if you watch women's basketball, like no, they have to work harder. They have so many more moves and things that they do. And like I agree. I mean, I love all sports, so it's not all sports, but a lot of sports. But I agree. How did you, is it, hasn't she been with Tiffany?
No, not
Yeah.
No,
Tiffany.
not Tiffany.
No.
Who's she been wrestling with? Charlotte.
I
Uh,
think she had a short feud with Tiffany Stratton.
Okay, maybe that was what
Alyssa
I was
Bliss,
thinking of.
right? Bliss.
That's it. That Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. I like seeing them together, kind of brought her into the
And
back into the
I'm not the biggest AEW fan, but I've been paying attention to Tony Storm.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh,
you
okay.
She's incredible, and she's super funny. Like she's very entertaining to watch.
you've
Okay.
worked a lot of AEW events, right?
Yeah, over at the Wintrust Arena, every now
Yeah.
and then I'll get to do a load in and load out, and it's fun seeing everybody
Yeah.
backstage. I always like to size everybody up. We're going really off topic here,
We
but
We
are. Yeah,
are.
yeah.
I like to size everybody up because they all look huge on TV, but some of them are
Oh, they're shorties. Yeah.
smaller than me or just are my height. I'm only
Oh
six
yeah.
one. I'm not that tall,
Yeah.
but a lot of them, like even with WWE, The Rock, Stone Cold, Goldberg, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, they're all my height.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're not the height that they are billed at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. All right.
All right.
I'm giving
So,
away secrets here.
yeah,
There you go.
any last thing you want to plug before we say goodbye then?
If you like horror movies and you want to hear three crazy guys rant and rave about them, then check us out. It's the Last Three Rows of Horror podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram. Drop us a line, tell us what you think. We might offend you.
Yeah,
but
probably
you
not the
know,
most family friendly
no, don't
podcast.
put it on in front of your kids.
Yeah. But if you're looking for just a cool hangout and talk about movies, that's the podcast to listen to for
Yeah.
sure.
And I
Um,
always tell people to make sure you watch us on YouTube, because that way you could actually see what we're talking about, because
Oh, sure.
we'll play trailers and stuff, and in the span of 20 minutes we'll drop 100 titles on you. We talk fast.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the documentary. I look forward to more stuff and Alton, and maybe we can go to the Roth House with you. We have some connections there, so
Awesome.
I'd be happy to get you in that door. But until next time, stay ghostly.
Bye.
Guys, I'm honored to be on here with you. You guys are the best couple. You make this show super entertaining, so thank you very much.
Thank you, as always.
Thanks for being on.
Okay, bye bye.